Welcome back. Monday, I'm Brett Breaks Things. My pleasure to be here, man. My pleasure to be here. Had a pretty good weekend, pretty relaxing weekend. We got a lot of stuff coming up in our lives, but we're not gonna miss a beat. We're gonna keep bringing you the show. The show actually faced a little bit of trouble actually over the weekend. A little uncertainty. You see, I defeated my producer Scotty in fantasy baseball. Crucial matchup as we head toward the playoffs. He's butthurt. He's butthurt about it. I didn't know if he was going to show up today. He's not going to say. He's wishing I didn't do that. But it is what it is. I thought this might be the biggest challenge this show has faced so far. Would Scotty come into work after being soundly defeated by me? And I took his spot in the fantasy baseball standings. So he is here today. Not happy I just brought that up, for sure. So it was a good weekend for me. Good weekend for me. As Juan Soto, my Met, banged a home run and Aaron Judge goes on the IL. Uh-oh. No, there's a lot. Football's coming up. A lot of stuff going on the weekend. I relaxed, chilled out, got a lot of stuff done I had to get done. But the news cycle just kept on rolling, man. It just kept on rolling. We've got a few things to get to today. We got a few different things to get to today. But we're going to start with catching up with our friend Pete Hegseth. I mean, one of the shining examples of Trump's, mafioso hierarchy, right? He's definitely a capo regime, right? And he has been towing the party line faithfully. Not exactly competently, right? But faithfully. Right? He's one of the more faithful. He will come out and lie. He will come out and say what he needs to say. The unfortunate part is he holds such an unimportant position in our government that determines so many important things, where our money goes, what our military does, the structure of it. So, yes, he's been very loyal to Donald. And if that's important to you, you should like Pete. If you have common sense or you're concerned about the direction of the U.S. military or where our tax dollars get spent in coordination with the military, well, maybe you don't like Pete quite so much. Or maybe you just don't like getting lied to. I feel like that's something that we've all grown to just accept coming from the hierarchy of our government. They're just going to lie. They're just going to lie, and they're going to lie on message, and they're going to lie repeatedly. They're going to shift the lie and spin the lie and constantly bombard you with them. And we are seeing that right now as the Epstein stuff builds up. We're getting lie after lie after lie. But what's Pete lying about recently? Well, he's under fire for quite a few things, actually. As we catch up on Pete Hegseth's career at the Department of Defense, there's quite a few things that he is getting hit with. But I don't think anybody's forgotten Signalgate, right? Like, that was a pretty inauspicious start to his term at the Department of Defense. Not a great way to get the ball rolling. And although they probably wished it would have rolled away, no, it's enduring. It was pretty egregious. And there's a lot of people in the Senate and the House that really want to highlight the egregious nature of just what Pete Hegseth and Mike Waltz did. And we're going to get to both of those. But they got out and lied about this Signalgate pretty quickly and furiously. And you may remember some of those lies.
There was no classified information, as I understand it.
There was no classified material that was shared.
No classified material was sent on this messaging thread.
There's no units, no locations, no routes, no flight paths, no sources, no methods, no classified information.
Yeah. All on brand, all on message. Hegseth screwed up, so we have to unify up at the upper brass, the upper echelons of this administration. We have to unify together, and we have to lie to cover Pete Hegseth together. I mean, you can say what you want about this administration, but those foot soldiers are all on message. They are on message, on point, on the lie, together, coherently, like together. Like they are unified in their lies. They get that part right. They get that part right. Like, we're going to tell the same lies. Now, when pressed on their lies, because they've told so many, sometimes they get them kind of mixed up. Don't know which lie I told when, and start to fumble over their own lies and bump into each other a little bit. But they try, man, they try. They really do try to get their lies straight. They try, and they try to stay on messaging. This particular lie, no classified information. No classified information. And of course, Trump feels like if I say that Hegseth did nothing wrong, if I cover for him personally, like if it comes from me, you should stop talking about it, right? We've seen a lot of that. If I say don't talk about it, you don't need to talk about it. But we're talking about it. We're talking about it once again. Rep. Seth Moulton out of Massachusetts, a Democrat out of Massachusetts, he got a chance to ask Hegseth about it. The House Appropriations Committee met, and they questioned him about it. Let's hear this. This is interesting to me. And Hegseth, man, he gets my blood boiling. He really plays games in these hearings. He dodges, he ducks, he goes on diatribes, he changes the topic, he pushes the narratives. He does everything but answer the questions, basically, and it's really frustrating. And he particularly highlights just kind of how toothless these hearings can be, really, to be honest with you. The only good thing about these is that they're under oath. That's the only good thing about these, is that we can get them to lie under oath. And that's a big step, right? Even though the sound bites might piss us off and they might squirm and squiggle, they're under oath. Keep that in mind.
When Central Command sent you this information, did they send it on a classified system or an unclassified system?
Well, as you know, having served yourself, any way that the Secretary of Defense communicates or provides information in and of itself is classified and not to be discussed.
This was in July.
What's not classified is that it was an incredibly successful mission against the Houthis.
Okay, so it was classified. So are you trying to say that the information was unclassified?
I'm not
okay,
trying to say
that's what
anything.
I thought. You're not saying that. So you took classified information from Central Command that had a classification marking on it, because that's what's required by DoD regulations, and you put it on an unclassified system. So does it apply to you or not?
Does what apply to me or not?
Accountability. You said accountability is back at the Secretary.
And you know what? The Houthis were held accountable for shooting at our
I'm just asking if it applies to
very
you.
successfully.
I'm not asking about the
previous
Houthis.
administration let our ships get shot at, and nothing was done about it.
What?
And thankfully, because of the skill and courage of our troops on
I'm
the
just
battlefield,
asking about
we
I
actually
reclaim my
put them
time.
in a place
I
where
reclaim
they
my time.
called for a ceasefire.
I claim my time. I'm just asking if accountability applies to you. It's a very simple question. We use leadership by example.
Of course. Unlike, I serve at the pleasure of the president like everybody else does.
So it only applies to the president, not to you.
I love this guy, Seth Moulton. I want to hear more from him. He is extremely sharp. You can tell. Like he is uniquely qualified to dice up Hegseth's bullcrap. He's on point. He's sharp. I reclaim my time. I'm asking you about your accountability. He just simply said the word accountability, and Hegseth went, well, the Houthis were held accountable when Biden let our people get shot. Whoa! That spun way out of bounds quickly, and he reels them back in. Like, reclaim my time. Will you be held accountable if the Pentagon's IG finds out that this was classified information? That's what he wanted to get to. That's what he was ultimately trying to get to. You claim it's not classified, but you're not allowed to talk about the classification, but you are willing to say it wasn't. So there's, right? How do you reconcile you saying these two things in the same breath? Well, I can't talk about the classification status of information in this meeting, but I can tell you it wasn't classified. Okay. But Senator Moulton wants to know if this IG report out of the Pentagon shows that it was classified, will you take accountability? And Hegseth squirms and squiggles. Well, guess what?
Multiple officials tell Fox News the Pentagon's Inspector General has received evidence that the U.S. military's strike plans shared by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth over Signal derived from a classified email labeled Secret No Foreign, which stands for No Foreign Nationals Should See It. That was first reported by the Washington Post. Fox is also told the Inspector General received the classified email with markings early in its investigation, which began in April. Secretary Hegseth's team is responding. Chief Pentagon spokesman Sean Parnell says in a statement to Fox, in part, quote, the department stands behind its previous statements. No classified information was shared via Signal.
Stephen Stebbins is the acting IG of the Pentagon right now. In Hegseth's mass firings, Stephen was promoted to acting IG, right? He got moved up. Now, that was pending a nomination from Trump on a permanent IG, but we know that everything he's doing is getting kind of bogged down in the swamp that he was supposed to clear, and he can't get his nominations through, which is why the Senate may be staying longer into their recess, because Trump has ordered them to stay so he can get his nominations through, including Waltz, who we'll talk about in a second, and other nominations, right? Thune is caught between a rock and a hard place. He's got every single senator, including Republicans, saying, let us go. Let us go. Let us go on recess. And Trump saying, no, don't. I have things I want to get done, even though he has been proven to be completely, incompetent and feckless when it comes to getting anything done, which is why he has to lean on those executive orders, right? So Stebbins is the acting IG, and his investigation has found that it was classified information. Will Hegseth be held accountable? The signal chat included J.D. Vance, cabinet members, Hegseth's wife, brother, personal lawyer, and it included sensitive information on missile strikes, airstrikes. Will he be held accountable? That's the question. Will he be held accountable for anything? Because there's more. There's a lot more surrounding Hegseth right now. It's starting to kind of snowball for Pete. His unqualified nature might have flown under the radar had he not been tested so early, so often, and lied so much about his failings early at this position. But there's more surrounding him. It's snowballing. This Qatari jet, remember the gift that Trump would be stupid not to accept? Well, it looks like it's going to cost upwards to $1 billion with a B to renovate this jet. And they're being super secretive about where they're going to get the money. But reports have it that the Pentagon has redirected $934 million from a nuclear missile Sentinel program and adjusted it to take care of the cost of this renovation. $1 billion. Gold trim, missile defense, spy-proof tech, a lounge, a med bay, and Trump's signature gaudy, kitschy, garbage style adorning the jet throughout. $1 billion. Hegseth's moving money around. Your money. Moving it around to pay $1 billion for this gift that he would have been stupid to deny, right? Stupid, not you dumb people, that you critics of mine, you would have liked me not to accept this amazing gift. $1 billion later, maybe everybody else was right once again. Donald. I mean, it continues with Pete. It continues. Hegseth blocked the promotion of a decorated Lieutenant General Douglas A. Sims II, despite no wrongdoing and being extremely competent and qualified, according to everybody who's ever served under him or worked with him. Hegseth claims that Sims leaked to the media with no evidence, by the way, leaked info out of the Pentagon to the press, blamed his ties to ex-Joint Chief Chair Mark Milley, who Milley has become officially one of the administration's enemies when he was a big part of it in the first administration, tried to reel Trump in, tried to be one of those guardrails. Of course, Trump didn't like that, attacked him, and here we are. Anybody tied to him in any way is getting mud thrown at them. And, it was a 4-star general position that Douglas Sims was uniquely qualified for. Blocked by Hegseth. Blocked by a Fox News reality star. And speaking of Fox News, that IG report, that was Fox News. There is definitely a shift happening in Fox News right now. There's no way you can dispute it.
That 41 seconds clip, Brett, was the only time it was mentioned all weekend on Fox News. So that was all they got, 41 seconds.
And I submit to Trump, that's 41 seconds too many, and that's 41 more seconds than Fox would ever have previously allowed. A report that is in complete contradiction to what the Trump administration is telling you. That right there is a huge signal in a shift in the philosophy at Fox News. And the job of carrying Trump's propaganda is going to fall more to News Nation and Newsmax and One American News and off of Fox, because Fox, I mean, what is it? What is it? It is Fox running a report that absolutely, undeniably contradicts what the Trump administration has been telling us. There's no two ways around it. And there's no way Trump and company doesn't notice it. And now Trump's making his phone calls to other outlets, right? More radicalized outlets. Fox isn't getting these early morning Trump exclusives where he just calls in and rants for 30 minutes and they got to try to cut him off. Fox isn't getting that anymore. It's a big shift in Fox philosophy.
It's time for a quick break, then we break some more. You're listening to Brett Breaks Things. Brett Breaks Things, fighting for America one mic drop at a time.
Secretary Hegseth's signal messages were coming from an email classified secret. What is your response to that?
And you're surprised? I mean, you know, I challenge Hegseth or Gabbard, bring your butts down to Norfolk, Virginia, and explain to the friends and family of the sailors on the Truman where those planes were launched, that you didn't put their loved ones in harm's way.
He pulled the Trump.
And surprised or not, do you think there will be any consequences for Hegseth? Obviously, you know, we'll see what the investigation shows, but would it matter that he denied it to Congress under oath?
No. And I only say that because we're talking about a Republican-controlled Congress that it doesn't seem to be into holding people from the executive branch accountable for things that they have done wrong.
Right. Exactly. I mean, this administration doesn't even respond to subpoenas. Like, you're gonna hold somebody accountable? That's laughable. But still, he's under oath lying. I don't think it's completely inconsequential. He's long gaming it there. And by the way, that was Senator Mark Warren at the beginning of that clip. He's a Democrat out of Virginia, asking you if you're surprised at all by this. But yeah, that analyst at the end is saying, you know, no, it makes no difference. I don't quite agree with that, but he is right. This particular Republican Congress is not interested in holding Pete Hegseth accountable, that's for sure. Just to put a bow on some of this Hegseth stuff, his purge of all women in the military continues. I mean, there is no denying it at this point. I mean, forget his own words. Let his actions speak. Admiral Linda Fagan, fired. Admiral Lisa Franchetti, Navy Chief Operations, Navy Chief of Operations, fired. Lieutenant General Jennifer Short, Hegseth's senior military assistant, fired. Vice Admiral Shoshana Chatfield, our NATO representative, fired. And Vice Admiral Yvette Davids, Naval Academy Superintendent, demoted. Not fired, demoted. And, you know, Leon Panetta, among others, had stuff to say about this, but he said specifically it sends a clear signal. It's not about merit. It's because they are women. We know that merit is not a deciding factor for anything this administration does. Hegseth was appointed with no merit, and so why would he go on merit to make decisions? I mean, merit's not what got him there. So he's not interested. And by the way, Hegseth said publicly in a 2024 podcast, we need moms, but not in combat units. And he claimed that DEI hires weaken the military. So,
yeah, I just to double down on that, Brett. He did. Yeah, he said that women shouldn't serve in combat roles, and that men in those positions are more capable. He went on to say that it hasn't made us more effective. It hasn't made us more lethal, and it's made fighting more complicated. And he said women are life givers, not takers.
Oh, wow.
Kind of.
Wow. Wow. I'm going to leave the shot up here. Look at Scott rocking his Yankees cap. He's got Toronto and Boston breathing down the Yankees' neck. He just lost Judge to a 10-day IL.
Bro, it's not even August yet. Get out of here.
And he
worry about Hegseth. Don't worry about the Yankees and what they're doing.
Blazes the Yankee logo on TV.
Always. Not fair weather fan like you.
Oh, stop.
Please.
That's baseless. Stop, bro. Fair weather.
Yeah, fair weather.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I only see you wear Bear stuff after they win. I never see you wear Mets stuff. Please, move on.
I don't look good. I don't look good in orange, bro.
Whatever, bro.
One more thing on Hegseth. After the Signalgate leaks, Hegseth began polygraphing Pentagon staff to sniff out disloyal aides. Like, the White House actually itself had to order him to stop after advisor Patrick Weaver refused to take one. So that was actually the White House doing Pete a favor. People are starting to not take them, and you can't make them take them. And so you're about to look really stupid. So stop. See, Trump knows from looking stupid. He knows from looking stupid. But this Signalgate thing it's got legs, man. It's got legs. And Mike Waltz is feeling it a little bit here because he had a big role in, he used Signal quite a bit during his time in the Department of Defense. And he was grilled about this in the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. This was from July 15th. Now, he is nominated, by the way, for United Nations Ambassador, Mike Waltz, former congressman, former Green Beret, okay? He has been, and he's the perpetrator greatly of this Signalgate thing. It was on him, the use of Signalgate so heavily. This is on him. Okay, and in this committee, they grilled him about it. And I just wanted you to hear the ducking, dodging, dipping, diving, and ducking that is going on from these guys over this Signal thing. It's not quite done yet, but we're going to get these guys under oath and get them to lie under oath. That's basically the point of these hearings.
In your role in the Army, in the House, as National Security Advisor, you have long handled classified and highly sensitive information. We both know Signal is not an appropriate, secure means of communicating highly sensitive information. And yet, on March 24th, the Atlantic magazine published a series of Signal messages, including sensitive information about a U.S. military operation against the Houthis in Yemen, involving you and several other Trump officials. Were you investigated for this disclosure of sensitive operational information on Signal?
Thank you, Senator. And that engagement was driven by and recommended by the Cyber Security Infrastructure Security Agency, by the Biden administration, CISA guidance.
I'm sorry.
And I have here, just the use of Signal.
Share information on Signal.
The use of Signal is not only as an encrypted app is not only authorized, it was recommended in the Biden era CISA guidance.
Now, don't forget, he mentioned him being NSA, National Security Advisor. 10 days is all he made it as National Security Advisor because of this Signalgate, because of this. And here's him under oath lying about, oh, no, Signal is fine for classified information. No, you've got it wrong. You've got it wrong. That's Chris Coons, by the way. That's Chris Coons. And Coons continues. He's, by the way, a senator out of Delaware. He continues.
You were sharing details about an upcoming airstrike and the time of launch and the potential targets. I mean, this was demonstrably sensitive information. And the question I asked was, were you investigated for this expansion of the Signal Group to include a journalist?
The White House conducted an investigation, and my understanding is the Department of Defense is still conducting an investigation.
Was any disciplinary action taken?
From the White House investigation, Senator?
Yes.
No, the use of Signal was not only authorized, it's still authorized and highly recommended.
Okay, now I got two things I got to correct. I was going to come back and correct myself. It was 101 days, not 10 days, that he was NSA. But now I have to apologize for dropping the S-bomb when I thought I was muted during that video. I don't know if you caught that. We'll call it an Easter egg. We'll call it a Brett Breaks Things Easter egg. Can you hear him cussing when videos are playing or when he thinks the mic is muted? Okay. Tim Kaine. He gets a piece. He's a senator out of Virginia. He gets a piece of Waltz.
Signal is useful because it's encrypted, and a whole lot of people use Signal, and there's nothing wrong for it. But as far as I know, Signal has not been approved for use by U.S. government officials for the sharing of classified information. Is that correct?
That is correct,
Right.
Senator.
And you indicated...
Thank you for the shout-out on VMI, Rob Virginia Bell.
Great institution. You indicated in your testimony that no classified information was shared, and I see nothing in the reporting about your situation to suggest that you shared classified information. I do see the question of, why did your office add the Atlantic reporter? That was an amateurish move.
A good question.
And I'm sure you've learned something from that. But on the question of whether classified information was shared, there are at least two DOD investigations. One, the DOD IG, and the second, Air Force, an investigation ongoing into whether Secretary Hegseth shared classified information. My understanding is those are ongoing. They haven't yet reached a conclusion.
They have now.
They certainly haven't reached the conclusion that no classified information is shared. Am I wrong about that?
Senator, thank you for the question. I shouldn't and can't comment on ongoing investigations.
Yeah, not shouldn't, straight can't. Just flat can't. Be honest about it, Mike. That is an independent IG investigation in the Pentagon, and they have concluded that it was classified information shared on Signal. That now you need to share responsibility with Pete Hegseth, okay? The report is done. It's done. Jackie Rosen got a piece.
Morning, it was reported, despite being removed from your role as National Security Advisor in May.
Oops.
Removed from your role, right? Not working. Surprisingly, you've been on the White House payroll for the last few months. So throughout this hearing, you've made assertions that if confirmed, you would root out waste and unnecessary overhead at the UN. So can you confirm for us whether you've been receiving a salary from the White House since being let go at the NSA?
Thank you, Senator. I was not fired. The president never said that, nor did the vice president. I was kept on as an advisor, transitioning a number of important activities, and now hope to be confirmed with the Senate's consent.
So you're saying that you were not dismissed from your role, as was publicly reported, because it's also been publicly reported that you've been receiving almost $200,000 of the taxpayer money since you were dismissed from being the National Security Advisor.
Well, the reporting, Senator, is fake news, which shouldn't surprise anyone. The president was clear. His announcement was, I will nominate
fake news
Mr.
can't
Waltz,
be the
and then
answer
the
to
vice president
everything.
was.
So there's no date yet on the confirmation. It's working its way through. And she says flatly, fake news cannot be an answer to everything. Oh, yes, it can. You just saw him do it. You asked me a perfectly legitimate question based in fact. Fake news. It's that easy. Fake news. You can't make me answer your questions because it's fake news. So that's Jackie Rosen out of Nevada. And, she nailed it. She nailed it. So Mike Waltz bouncing all over the place. It's not going to affect his nomination because of the tribal nature of the Senate and the House right now. It doesn't matter what he lies about under oath. He'll get nominated. We'll keep you posted. But he will be our UN ambassador. Make no mistake about it. Doesn't matter what he did, what he shared, what he okayed, what he got fired from, or what he lies about under oath. None of that matters. He will be nominated.
Breaking politics, breaking narratives, breaking news. But first, we need a coffee break. Now back to Brett Breaks Things, smashing spin, silencing the noise, and keeping it all facts. No fluff.
All right, so we're going to do a little segment here I'm going to call Tales from the Right, okay? I want to kind of shed a light on the activities of some of the grandstanders on the right. It's always the most vocal, right? It's always the ones who are so, so fervent, so zealous in their own morality and the morality that they want to impress upon others. And then the other shoe drops. Now, I'm going to say off the top, before I get into this, I'm going to say, yes, I realize there are Democrats out there that do bad things. Of course there are. You want to talk about that? You want to go do the digging? Knock yourself out. You're free to start your own podcast and talk about whatever you'd like to talk about, okay? You want to bring stories to me? You want to find me in RL and you want to come up to me and say, Brett, you talked about these Republicans, but here's what some Democrats are doing. I'll listen. But for now, I'm going to start in my home state. All roads lead to Florida, baby. I mean, you want immorality? Come to Florida. We are innovators of immorality here. Period. This is a story out of Fort Pierce, which is just north of me, about an hour. Let's get into this.
Today, Fort Pierce City Commissioner James Taylor is being held at the St. Lucie County Jail, accused of having inappropriate communication with a minor. According to the arrest report, Taylor is facing 24 felony charges, all related to inappropriate communication with a minor.
The sheriff's office says last August, an Illinois police department was notified by a mother about her 13-year-old girl receiving Snapchats from a man. That police department says the girl was only 12 when this started, and the chats grew more sexually explicit, with the suspect eventually sending nudes of himself.
He could be identified in these photos, and they were explicit and just, I wouldn't even, inappropriate is not even the word.
Judge Jeffrey Hendricks set Taylor's bond at $360,000. That's $15,000 for each of his 24 felony charges. These range from solicitation of child pornography to harmful communication with a minor.
I would say that he admitted his role in these and was very remorseful, obviously. I think mainly because he was caught.
Yeah. He was remorseful because he was caught. Those are the cops telling you. This James Taylor, what a piece of work. Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely reprehensible. $360,000 bond, 24 felony charges related to a multi-state investigation. Multi-state. One of the things he's allegedly did, there was a girl who was 12 at the time they started Snapchatting and talking on social media. He sent nude photos of himself for over a year. He was caught. Finally, the communication between he and this young girl were caught by the mother when she was 13. So it went on for a while. Nude photos, pictures of child pornography, the whole deal. That's one. We're just getting warmed up. Here. This one, I wanted to sink my teeth into. This one, I mean, I'm not going to say it's more egregious. Certainly not going to say that. Not, on its face, it's not. But it's egregious for other reasons. Let's get into it.
Two board members of the Oklahoma State Board of Education say during executive session they saw images of a naked woman on a TV screen, and this was in Superintendent Ryan Walters' office.
House Speaker Kyle Hilbert, calling for an investigation into this matter and even asking for Walters to turn over his devices. These shocking claims first came to light in the report by the Oklahoman and then the online publication Non-Doc. Walters has not directly addressed these allegations, but already Oklahoma's top Republican lawmakers say it's time to get to the bottom of this. Former Republican Oklahoma Representative Mark McBride says he knows the board members and believes that they saw what they saw.
Yeah, the accounts made by public The accounts made public by the board members paint a strange, unsettling scene. This is reporting out of Oklahoma.com, Murray Evans. Unsettling scene that demands clarity and transparency. Okay, there was a meeting, there was a board meeting, and Walters there, he had a picture of a 60s style naked woman up, clearly visible, and two board members reported it. And an investigation has begun. Now, here's the part of the investigation that I find interesting. Republican House Speaker Kyle Hilbert of Burstow said Walters should unlock and turn over all relevant devices as a part of an outside review into what happened. Now, here's what I'm thinking about that. If this dude is so careless and so not tech savvy, like let's say this was a mistake and he wasn't trying to titillate the other board members, okay? Let's say it was a mistake. I can't say that 100% with these guys, but let's say it was a mistake. A pretty egregious one, but it shows a lack of understanding and awareness of your devices, of what's playing, what's showing, what you have of accessible to everybody else at a moment's notice. What else is a thorough investigation of this dude's device is going to turn up? I have a feeling this story isn't over, and he came out and denied. Of course he did.
New tonight, the governor is responding after reports that nude women were shown on a television behind the state superintendent during an executive session of the Board of Education. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Evan Onstein.
I'm Jessica Shambach. The governor is saying tonight, I trust and appreciate my board members. They are volunteers who are sacrificing their time to serve Oklahoma students. Should these allegations be true, all I can say is that I am profoundly disappointed. Now, according to the Oklahoman, OSDE board members Ryan Dethridge and Becky Carson say they saw nude women on a TV screen behind Superintendent Ryan Walters during that meeting. They described to the Oklahoman that the video appeared to be something from the 1960s.
Carson said in part, quote, the images that board members were exposed to yesterday in this meeting were inappropriate to say the least. There has to be accountability.
And Superintendent Walters telling KOCO some of these board members are blatantly dishonest and cannot hide their political agenda. It is disappointing that they are more interested in creating distractions than getting work done for Oklahoma families.
That's an up-and-coming Republican right there. You get accused of putting up nude women, right? And two separate people have said, we saw it. And what's his response? You didn't see what you saw. You didn't hear what you heard. I didn't do what you saw me do. That's their deal, right? Your eyes are lying eyes, right? That's when you start to refer back to this 1984 theme where, do you want to get on board? Then you have to deny reality. Your eyes didn't see what your eyes saw. It's clearly political. It's clearly a political attack. They didn't see what they saw. Lie about it. That's how you do it, young and up-and-coming Republican. Lie about it. Then blame your accusers, okay? Don't consider an apology. Don't consider, damage control moving forward, trying to salvage your career. You have to lie, 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 lie. And the egregious nature isn't in his lie. Not to me. The egregious nature is how this particular person had presented himself prior to this. He was the moral majority. Don't forget, we're talking about the Board of Education. One of the people that are in charge of what your kids learn, right? And he presented himself as the moral majority, right? He is on the moral side of things. He's got your kids' future in mind, and he's going to help you raise them right.
Look, President Trump is the one fighting for fairness and keeping the rest of the country from becoming this woke dumpster fire that's in California. I mean, the absurdity that Gavin Newsom is going to stand there and say, girls, sorry, you're going to compete with boys because you know what? These woke ideologues, these Marxists here in California want us to do that. That's why we announced today, if you're going to come from California to Oklahoma to teach, we're going to make sure you take a test and understand basic biology before we let you in a class. We're going to continue to be a great country in the future. You have to start. I love Churchill's quote of the further back you look, the further ahead you can see. You've got to understand the background, the context, our history, what made America great. And then we've got to have young people that can help us continue to be great.
The Bible is a necessary historical document to teach our kids
about the history of this country. It is essential that our kids have an understanding of the Bible and its historical context. So we will be issuing a memo today that every school district will adhere to, which is that every teacher, every classroom in the state will have a Bible in the classroom, and we'll be teaching from the Bible in the classroom.
And we'll also have weird 1960s fetish pictures up on the classrooms as well, apparently. Like, that's part of his agenda. I'm not going to sit here and hammer the guy over his, sexual predilections. That's not what I'm here to do. But you present yourself one way, and clearly you're into some other stuff as well. But he keeps thumping the Bible. He keeps thumping the Bible. And I've talked about how much I respect so many Christians and Catholics in my life. And I know these people, and I know their good nature. And I know that I feel that they are represented sometimes by bad actors. I would consider Mr. Taylor one of those bad actors. I want to show you what Christianity and faith mixed with the political sphere could look like. Because not everybody who claims to be a Christian and is involved politically in some way, I don't believe they're all bad actors. As a matter of fact, I know they're not all bad actors. There's one guy who I have immense respect for. His name's James Talrico, and I want you to hear from him. Yeah, this is a Texas state rep, and he's currently embroiled in this, the 30-day session, and he's had things to say about that. But I want you to hear from James Talrico. This is an alternate view of what a devout Christian in the political sphere could look like.
The Bible doesn't mention abortion or gay marriage, but it goes on and on about forgiving debt, liberating the poor, and healing the sick. Christian nationalists like to say this is a Christian nation. Not only is that historically inaccurate, not only is that theologically blasphemous, but it's also just not true. Look around us. If this was truly a Christian nation, we would forgive student debt. If this was truly a Christian nation, we would guarantee health care to every single person. If this was truly a Christian nation, we would love all of our LGBTQ neighbors. If this was truly a Christian nation, we would make sure every child in this state and in this country was housed, fed, clothed, educated, and insured. If this was truly a Christian nation, we would never make it a Christian nation, because we know the table of fellowship is open to everybody, including our Buddhist, Hindu, Jewish, Muslim, Sikh, and atheist neighbors. Jesus could have started a Christian theocracy, but love would never do that. The closest thing we have to the kingdom of heaven is a multiracial, multicultural democracy where power is truly shared among all people, something that's yet to exist in human history.
Now, James Talrico, he's been gaining a little momentum. He's showing up on opposition social media shows like Joe Rogan. He's gone viral for common sense, moral stances. He railed against a legislation that was going through the state Senate, the Texas State Senate, to put Bibles in classroom. They had a special session about that on a Saturday, and he said, "You want to put Bibles in class on a Saturday? It's the Sabbath." How ironic is that? But let me just pose this. Could he be a really dangerous opponent for a Republican at higher levels? White, obviously well-spoken, good-looking dude, young, Christian. He's in seminary school, by the way. What happens if James Talrico decides it's up to him to go after Ted Cruz's seat, or possibly higher?
We'll be back to break it all down. You're listening to Brett Breaks Things. Brett breaks things because someone has to.
Trump and Bondi are protecting predators. This is an organization called Ultraviolet that's put this banner up in the air here, trying to make a point about the victims who the victims of Jeffrey Epstein sort of having been betrayed by this additional conversation with Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yeah, that was over Tallahassee. I can't help but think like something like that would bother Trump a little bit more than, other sources of agita. Like that one is so public and so simple and such a spit in his eye. I love that. I love that. Yeah, so Maxwell had another meeting. That was Friday. We told you about it, told you it was going to happen, and it happened. We just want to catch you up a little bit. We're going to use the rest of the show to catch you up a little bit on this situation. Yeah, let's get into it.
Her lawyer says she answered questions about roughly 100 people during her meetings with Deputy Attorney General and former personal attorney to President Trump, Todd Blanche. Do we know anything else about what they discussed, Paula?
Well, we're learning a little bit, but there's still more questions than answers. We know the two sides met today for about 3 hours. After talking through the day yesterday, once again, her lawyer said she answered every question that she was asked. She did not invoke privilege. And when really pressed on exactly what she's being asked about, her lawyer said that they've asked about every single possible thing you can imagine, but then revealed that she was asked about maybe 100 different people. She answered questions about everybody and did not hold anything back. I think that's sort of the biggest headline we've gotten out of these meetings so far.
Okay. Real quick, anybody listening from any part of the spectrum, do you honestly believe that Blanche asked her anything about Donald Trump? Or do you think they went hard at the heart of the matter, which is we need to scrub anything about Donald Trump? Did he just avoid Trump's name when he asked about 100 plus people? Did he just avoid making Trump one of them? Or is it the other way? Hard. Let's talk about getting on message and separating Donald Trump from anything you are going to disclose or anything we are going to disclose. Which one is it? And furthermore, do you think she sat down and just started offering up a ton of dirt on Donald when her pardon is solely his decision? Like, how do you feel this plays out? Are they just going to kind of play dumb with each other? Like, we're going to talk about 100 people, not including Donald, in both of these meetings. We're just going to avoid it 100%, or is it the other way? Let's get on message. Let's make sure we competently and definitively avoid anything that will implicate Donald in any way. We have to get on the same page with this. We're going to spend 2 days getting you prepped about what you may or may not say. Let's get you that pardon. Let's get you that pardon, Ghislaine. I was corrected a number of times. Ghislaine. Let's get you that pardon, Ghislaine. Let's play ball. Which way did it go? I say she goes for the pardon. I say she goes for the pardon. I say Blanche protects his job. Blanche protects anything that may come from this. And I say they are getting on point. They are getting on message. They are going to be in simpatico on this. And they're going to make sure that neither of them are responsible for making Don look bad in any way. And they need to be together on this. 2 meetings. 2 meetings. Fox reporting.
What else did Maxwell's attorney say?
Well, he said a lot. We wish we could be in and hear what was said in the actual meeting. This meeting was a lot shorter than it was yesterday, but this was a 2-day event. The highlight, though, it appears that her team wants a pardon. Watch.
We're going to take one day at a time. I know that's very cliche, but it's true because things are happening so quickly. We haven't spoken to the president or anybody about a pardon just yet. And listen, the president this morning said he had the power to do so. We hope he exercises that power in the right and just way.
Yeah, so they were looking for a pardon. They're looking, it's obvious they're looking for a pardon. It's obvious. Why wouldn't she be? She doesn't want to be in jail anymore. for the crimes she's been convicted of, and we know she all did. And we certainly know that Trump's not above pardoning somebody as despicable as Ghislaine or anybody else. He'll do what's in his best interest. If he can dangle a pardon to ensure nothing controversial comes out of her mouth, he's going to do that. But what does he say about it?
I really have really nothing to say about it. She is being talked to by a very smart man, by a very good man, Todd Blanche. And I don't know anything about the conversation. I haven't really been following it. A lot of people are asking me about pardons. Obviously, this is no time to be talking about pardons. But a lot of people have asked about pardon. This is just not a time to be talking about pardons. Todd will come back with whatever he's got. You're making a very big thing over something that's not a big thing. You should be talking about, if you're going to talk about that, talk about Clinton.
There it is.
Talk about the former president of Harvard. Talk about all of his friends. Talk about the hedge fund guys that were with him all the time. Don't talk about Trump. What you should be talking about is the fact that we have the greatest 6 months in the history of a presidency, according to a lot of people.
So if Trump says it, just assume the opposite is true. And there Trump saying is, I don't know anything about what she's talking about. I don't know. That means he's getting a transcript of every word. Believe it. Are you kidding? He's not going to send his fixer, Hagen. By the way, I said Higgins in the other show. I said Tom Higgins. Godfather's only like my second favorite movie ever, and I'm sitting here messing up Tom's name. It's Hagen, by the way. So he's not going to send Tom Hagen. You think Tom Hagen's going to come back from this meeting with Frankie Pantangeli and be like, I can't discuss with you what we talked about, Don? Ridiculous. Of course he knows exactly what they're talking about. Of course he does. And if he says he's not thinking about a pardon, the opposite is true. He's obviously thinking about a pardon for Ghislaine. If she can play ball, if she can protect him in any way, of course he'll think about a pardon for her. Plus, they were best buds. They're longtime friends. Why wouldn't he pardon his longtime buddy? Why wouldn't he? I mean, he would wait till it behooves him, right? He would wait till it benefits him. How long has she been stewing in jail? Since 2018, something like that? 2019? So it didn't serve him in any way to pardon her yet. But now he's got clear goals. Now it's very clear the value that she can bring to the table. So now he's thinking about a pardon, although he'll stand there and tell you he's not. He, of course, is. It's the whole deal. His deflections have evolved a little bit, right? His deflections have evolved a little bit. He's trying everything to deflect on this.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
I know it's a hoax. It's started by Democrats. It's been run by the Democrats for 4 years. They should focus on the fact that Larry Summers from Harvard, that Bill Clinton, who you know very well, and lots of other friends, really close friends of Jeffrey Summers, should be spoken about.
First, don't talk about it. Then, Democrat hoax. Now, we're just spewing names. Larry Summers, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, whatever. Just hated names from the left, right? So he's trying to form this pseudo alternate narrative in the face of all this. And of course, nobody covers for this guy like Johnson. Johnson's his guy. This is the guy, man. This is the guy that gets out and lies for him. And he does it calmly. He's a wordsmith. I mean, if you wanted a guy to come out and calmly refute the truth and lie for you, he picked the right guy.
Mr. Speaker, it's not just Republicans supporting this. It's 11, not just Democrats, it's 11 Republicans as well. Let me just ask you, because I hear you saying that, yes, the files should be made public while protecting the victims. Let me just ask you, though, should all of the files related to Jeffrey Epstein be released and made public?
Yes, I agree with President Trump, with the Department of Justice, with the FBI, that you need all credible evidence and information out there. That word credible is important. And why? Because you have to protect innocent people's names and reputations whose names might be, as you noted at the outset of the program, intertwined into all these files. This has been a long legal process. There's a reason, for example, that grand jury materials are protected under the federal rules of criminal procedure, because they're not to be put out. See, the Massey and Khanna discharge petition would require the release. They would require the DOJ and FBI to release information that they know is false, that is based on lies and rumors, and was not even credible enough to be entered into the court proceedings. And that would be a dangerous thing. Our main concern here, though, is the protection of the innocent victims. I mean, these are minors in many cases who were subjected to unspeakable crimes, abject evil. They've already suffered great harm. We do not need their names being unmasked.
There he goes into that little cubby hole. Protection for the victims. Credible. Right? That's the cover. That's the cover. Credible. If we deem it, if Pam Bondi deems it not credible, which would be anything against Trump, then we can't include it. And this protecting the kids crap is starting to piss me off. You are denying justice. You are denying justice for these young victims in the name of protecting them. You got Massey and Khanna and others coming out and saying, listen, Massey and Khanna have said, we put specific language in our resolution, right, to get those files released. We put language in there to protect the victims. Stop saying it. We're protecting them. We don't want to hurt them either. And the administration is saying, no justice for these kids. No holding the people who victimized them accountable. And the reason we're not going to get justice for them is because we have to protect them. You can do both. They are mutually exclusive. You can protect them and get justice for them at the same damn time.
They'll try to repair the narrative, but Brett Breaks Things will be back tomorrow to break it all down.